Hi kids, today we're going to be recreating a sailboat silhouette project. There are a couple things I would like you to pay attention to before we start. Notice that in the upper section we have the sun, and we're going to be using a blending technique with our watercolors to go from yellow, which is usually the color of the sun, to more of a sky color during a sunset. The lower half is going to be water, which our sailboat will be sailing in. So just keep these in mind while we're creating this. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so let's get the supplies we'll need. Grab your art bag and let's start by putting down our table protector. Next, you'll see a group of papers, paper clipped together. You'll see a long black strip and then a smaller white piece, paper clipped to the bigger white piece. You'll need 2 pencils. One just a regular pencil and a yellow pencil. If you need to stop and find a yellow pencil, go ahead and pause the video and do that now. Next, you'll need your watercolor paints, which should be in a separate Ziploc bag. And your paintbrush should be also in this bag. If it's not, go ahead and look for that now. And then you'll need your cup with water in it. If you need time to go fill it up with water, go ahead and pause the video and fetch some water. Now that you have your water, we're going to take off the black piece, and you can put your paper clip on there just so it's easy to find, and put that aside. And we're going to start by creating the ocean scene that our sailboat will be sailing in, and we're going to use the smaller of the white pieces of paper, so you can put the large piece of paper aside for now. Again, we're going to be creating the water scene. Okay kids, what's the first thing we always do when we're creating our art piece? We write our grade. So this is first grade. You can do a 1 or a 1ST for first, and then our name, first and last please, and then your teacher's name. Okay, now we can begin. One important thing to remember is to really try to paint the entire piece of paper. So go ahead and paint all the way to the edges. We're going to be focusing on using blues and greens today. If you'd like to maybe make some white for some waves, you can do that. So let's begin. It might be easier to turn your paper vertical so that the long side is up and down. Okay. So here, use your imagination and make it your own and create your water scene. You might need to get a little bit of water in your paints if they've dried up. Just remember one thing, you don't want to have too much water, because the more watery it is, the less rich or dark your color will be. So if you'd like the light colors, go ahead and put a lot of water, but if you want a darker, rich color, don't put too much water on your brush. have some blue down, I'm going to switch colors and I'm going to use some green. You can go ahead and blend the blue and the green to make a nice ocean scene. And remember, if your paints have dried up, go ahead and get some water into your paints so that you get a nice rich color. Once you think you have it done, go ahead and turn it horizontal so that the long size is right to left. And then look at it. Now you can tell if you'd like to add some more green or blue to it, or if you want some more darker colors, go ahead and add that now. Okay, once you've finished your water scene, go ahead and put that aside and we're going to work on the sun. We're going to let that dry. Now's a good time, because we're going to be working with yellows and oranges, to really rinse your brush. And if you see what I'm doing, I'm dipping it in water and then I'm brushing it to the side of the cup without water to get those colors out. And if you have time, go ahead and pause the video, rinse your water and your brush, and come back and join me. Okay, so I am back. I decided to get clean water and to rinse my brush because the dark colors will definitely bleed into our yellow. So right now we're going to work on the upper part, the sky, which has the sun in it. So now we're going to be focusing on the yellows and oranges. So I'm going to put this aside, but here is an example of what we're working on. So we will, at the very end, be gluing this on. So just keep that in mind. We're going to be creating our sun up in the top right, or the top, you can put it in the right, but I'm going to put my sun right in the top middle of my painting. Okay kids, what's the first thing we always do when we're creating our art piece? We write our grade. So this is first grade. You can do a 1 or a 1 ST for first, and then our name, first and last please, and then your teacher's name. Okay, now we can begin. Okay, so the reason we're using yellow pencil is, if I use a dark gray color, we'll be able to see that through the watercolor paints. So I'm going to draw my sun in the upper section of my paper as an outline. So go ahead and draw a circle as the sun. Once you've drawn your circle, now you have your sun, and go ahead and paint your sun yellow. Remember, if your paints have dried up, go ahead and get some water in there. We don't want too much water here because we want the sun to be a nice bright yellow. Now try to draw in the line of the circle you drew for the sun. Now I'm not getting a lot of water again because I want my sun to be a nice bright yellow. And you can go ahead and think of what shape this is. It's a circle. Okay, So once you have your sun created, I'm going to bring back the example, and we're going to use a blending technique. So if in this example it's an orange or a red, so you can use those oranges and red in your palette and try to gradually get from a yellow to a darker yellow orange or lighter orange, and then try to get to a darker color. So I'm going to start by mixing a little bit of yellow and orange, and then you're going to outline your sun that next color. And if it's too orange, like you see I just had, I'm going to add just a little bit of yellow and a little bit of water. And go ahead and try to outline your sun. And then as you start to go out, you want the colors to get darker and more rich. So you can get some water and dip into the yellow and the orange and start to just get darker. And I might start here just to get a little bit of red. So I'm going to mix all three colors together now, so that you see the color gets more intense, which means richer or darker. And go ahead and make this your own and use your own imagination. And then little by little you'll be using less yellow, which will make your colors a more orange/red, whichever you choose. Go ahead and dip into the water when you need to. Remember, less water means a more rich, darker color. Now I want you to paint almost to the bottom, because if you don't have your sea painting handy, you won't know how far you need to paint. So you can go ahead and paint pretty far down. And now is a good time to go ahead and look and see if you have any white or any areas you want to fill in. So I'm thinking of your little hands, and if you put your fingers at the bottom of the paper, you should be painting almost to your fingers to make sure that you won't have any white spot. And go ahead and make that sunset sky scene your own, and use the colors, and go ahead and finish your sky scene. Okay, so once you've finished, we're going to go ahead and put everything aside to dry, and we're going to start to clean up. So let's put our paints back. Remember, they went into their own baggie so that if the paint leaks, it doesn't get on the rest of the papers. And go ahead and put your paintbrush in with your paints and close that up. And go ahead and start to put everything back into your bag, your art bag. If you need time to go empty your cup and dry it out, go ahead and pause the video and do that. The last piece you'll be working on, you'll only need a pencil, scissors, and the black piece. So go ahead and put that in the very front for now, and I will see you back to finish it.